There are no doubts either about God's existence in the orphanage of St. Anne.
Hello, I am from Guyana, St. Anne's Orphanage.
We have 43 children here at the moment. When I was in here, the children came because their parents were poor and couldn't look after them. Nowadays, they come because they're being abused and neglected and abandoned and treated very badly by their parents and their relatives and other adults.
All of the children, all of the girls we have, there's a story behind them.
Children are well taken care of. One of the girls who had been found in the street, nothing known about her at all, had to be given a completely new identity by the sisters. She was named after the street where she'd been found, and her parents' names were chosen from the calendar as the names closest to the day when she'd been found.
And we just created a birthday for her, the 15th of August, in honor of Our Lady.
The food and clothes and so are brought to us by people all the time, so we can have time and energy to look after the children and care for them and so. And nearly every day we have 2 or 3 meals coming in. We never have overflowing, but we always have just enough. It comes whenever we need it, it arrives. We need repairs and people send money. Somebody brought us a box with apples and oranges, and on Christmas Eve the box was empty because they'd eaten it already. So we said, well, they can't have it, this is Christmas Eve. Bell rings and she goes to the door and there's a man with a box of grapes and apples. She said, are you God? He said, no, but God sent me. It's beautiful. And this thing happens all the time.
Missionaries here work in inaccessible tropical rainforests and help the native inhabitants, many of whom are the descendants of former slaves, to be self-reliant. These local people could teach us mutual devotion and toleration.
Land of great rivers and far-stretching sea, so like the mountains, the seas and the river, great, wide and deep, in our lives would we be.
Even the words of the national song reveals the beauty and the treasures of Guyana, whose name in its original means the country of fast-flowing waters. Endless plains are crossed by large rivers, out of which the longest is the Essequibo, with its 1,010 kilometers course.
Since I was 9 years old, I started to paddle my own boat. About 5 o'clock we get up in the morning, we cook. When we finish, we serve my brother, sister, mom and son. Alright, like normally rice and something like curry, like greens. And now I'm gonna cook here. This is the stuff we used to cook with. These are the pan that we iron our clothes with. And we get ready and we go to school like 7 o'clock and we reach 8 o'clock at where we leave the boat. Then we go to school and 2:30, I guess at 3 o'clock, we will reach back at the boat and we reach 4 o'clock here. Then we will cook again, and normally I will do my homework. Like normally I go to sleep at 10 o'clock at night and sometimes more late.
A boat took us to Diana's house down an affluent of the river Pomeroon.
every year we get in flood, so we can't farm. Every year when we plant, everything die, and you go to see the coconut tree them is dead and all over. So then people just leave the place. You ain't finding nowhere. You're washing right at the step there.
Within its 2 rainy seasons, the annual rainfall is 4 times higher than that of the Czech Republic. That is why most Guyanese houses are suited to floods. Well-ventilated wooden constructions soften the muggy heat caused by the tropical climate with very high humidity.
Here's my room. That is my prayer book. And this normally used to put books on, like any book you want to put on. That is my clothes basket. And so, preserve me, God, I take refuge in you. My happiness lays in you alone. He has put into my heart an everlasting love for the faithful one who dwell in his land. Those who choose other God increase their sorrow. Never will I be offended or flood. Never will I take your names upon my lips. Oh God, it is you who are my protector. No man can create the trees or the heaven or earth, so there must be a God. He gave me every day. If he did not create me, I was not be here.
The challenges of the communities are different. Different depends the age, depends the places. Even though we count like 9 communities, and it's different. People that live in the coast, the people that live in the river. Most common one, I would say, the lack of a family environment due to the poverty. Dad has to leave the house to get a job and know around the house, so they will go for a month, 2 months, 3 months sometimes, into the bush, and they're exposed to the malaria, HIV, and different other things that could happen there. And then as a family, it's just the children and the mother most of the time. They start getting into this, different attraction from outside, and movies, alcohol, and getting into drugs and sex and so on. And so this is, I think, one of the challenges.
Father Humberto comes from Argentina. He is the headmaster of a boarding school in the town of Charity, which provides a good quality education for the children from the interior. This missionary also takes care of 9 local parishes. Thus he knows the inhabitants very well, often pays them visits and tries to improve their difficult situation. At the same time, he is for some people an important connection with the civilized world.
When we look at Guyana, the vast area in the south and the west that where the Amerindians inhabit, the size of the parish is, almost half the country. I would consider it to be a very religious country, so that over 90% of the people would claim to belong to some faith.
The spiritual dimension of life is actually very important for the Guyanese people. It is almost unbelievable how much they are willing to sacrifice to be able to attend service and meet their priest. They are not discouraged even if he is only available early in the morning before setting off on another missionary journey.
They have come great distances in the darkness, but at 4 o'clock in the morning, the church is full with people waiting for confession.